and call on the representative of Sri Lanka. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair, for giving me the floor. As we will be celebrating the 30th anniversary of establishing the International Conference of Population and Development in the next year, it is incumbent, I say, upon all of us to revisit the progress made in the implementation of the same and to determine the areas that need to be improved in the coming years. In relation to the contemporary global challenges that we face, in the implementation and to determine the areas that need to be improved in the coming years, in relation to the contemporary global developments and challenges the world is experiencing today. Madam Chair, we have a world population which is projected to reach 8 billion in November 22, that was last year, and go beyond 9 billion in 2037, and to go even beyond 10 billion by 2058. Ironically, the increase in global population is concentrated among the world's poorest nations, and that happens to be a group below the age of 65. To make matters worse, between today and 2050, the global increase in the population under 65 years will be essentially in low-income and lower middle-income countries. Notably, the growth in the population in high-income and upper-income middle countries will happen only amongst those who are 65 and over. What then, I ask, is the answer? Surely it must be the case that wealthy countries and the international community should rise to support sustainable development in low-income and low-middle-class countries by providing those countries technical and financial assistance so that they can develop using technology that minimizes environmental degradation. It is therefore important, we say, that we understand and plan for future demographic changes in achieving continued progress towards the Sustainable Development Goals if we are to really build back better. We cannot, Madam Chair, deny the fact that the growth in global population on the one hand is due to the gradual increase in human longevity on the one hand and the high level of fertility in many parts of the world. It is a fact that the pace it will progress and will decline across the world, and the continuing reduction in mortality shows that births outnumber deaths at a global level. As a result, the world population continues to increase. It is therefore believed that a decrease in the world's population will not be seen for another half a century, having regard to the factors that govern this phenomena. Demographic foresight is an essential factor, we say, in planning for the population of the future. Madam Chair, when the ICPD 25 was held in Nairobi in the year 2019, the world has been able to witness the positive side of the initial inception of the ICPD, such as 25% prevalence rate of the global contraceptive prevalence. While we should commend all stakeholders involved for the achievements made, we are of the view that we must not be complacent and let the progress slow down. It is a very well-known fact that environmental damage often arises due to economic reasons. One such being higher standards of living has come at a cost, particularly when the damage from pollution and recent destruction of the habitat are not built in to the pricing factor. Studies have shown that countries with high per capita consumption emit the highest greenhouse gases, high population growth, in contrast to countries where income is lower and the population was growing rapidly. We must also take note of the reality that global food production and consumption must necessarily change in addressing the climate crisis, notwithstanding the fact that food production has been adequate to meet the growing population. Madam Chair, even though ICPD was primarily intended to provide a systematic and comprehensive integrated approach to population issues, the developing countries are still facing a number of difficulties stemming from the unfavorable economic environment. Madam Chair, in conclusion, while reiterating our commitment to the ICPD, my delegation strongly believes that reviewing the process made by the ICPD at this juncture would provide us with the catalyst to determine the roadmap of the ICPD and focus on our priorities in a pragmatic and meaningful manner. Sri Lanka stands committed to realizing these objectives for the betterment of our societies and the planet we live in. I thank you.
I thank the distinguished representative of Sri Lanka, and I now